Good evening. You're watching Budding Entrepreneur News. My name is Shiba Drani. I hope you've had a lovely week. And let's get started on Budding Entrepreneur News. Despite a tax relief announced by the government through Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich during last month's budget reading, most of the country's millers are yet to pass on to customers the benefits that should have resulted in a direct reduction of prices. Even if the government directive is to be followed, the millers have warned that the reduction of maize flour prices in Kenya will be short-lived, as it will only last for less than 2 weeks. According to the Cereal Millers Association, there would be need to increase the amount of subsidized maize available for the price effect to be realized by the consumers. The millers said that about 450,000 bags of maize allocated to them would only offer a short-term relief by the high maize flour prices. Clearly, in black and white terms, the feeding program aims at curbing runaway scientific food inflation, especially of maize flour, is suffering some inefficiencies. The subsidy program is a shock reaction and populist policy whose sole objective was to counter the growing tide of Unga revolution, whose solution comes only through analyzing the business factors at play from the seller's perspective. Unfortunately, the process has already started showing signs of strain. Intermittent shortages characterizes of price control without a proper regard to market control factors have started showing. The way of government is going around this is wrong. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, in the Economic Survey of 2017, indicated that the production of maize decreased in 2016 due to lower volume of rainfall, high costs of farm inputs, and the residual effects of maize lethonurcus disease, which any expert would argue that aren't factors that need to be handled by trying to flood the market with the end products without eliminating the casual effects, which will be further made worse by the upcoming elections in Kenya. Now, while the value of marketed rice and wheat also went down, their poor performances were quickly compensated with increased imports of the commodities. However, maize imports declined sharply from 480,100 tons in 2015 to 148 tons and 600 tons in 2016. There was no maize in Tanzania and in Kenya, where the Kenyan plugs is a deficit. The ravaging drought had ensured that they too were as maize deficits in Kenya. Kenya's only option remains to be important to the commodity from overseas, particularly Mexico, which is the largest producers of white maize. Maize from overseas was subjected to 50% duty, a duty that was input placed to protect Kenyan farmers. Politicians in the government, however, perceived it to be differently. In March 30th, Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich, in the budget speech, would, however, acknowledge that consumers were hurting and overruled that deputy president and opened the window for importation by removing 50% duty on imported maize. The social media went bonkers, with memes of Unga had become such a rare gem that some Kenyans went to the extent of even sleeping with their stock to panga with reach of the Unga jackpot. The government was under pressure and quickly came up with what believed as a counter-narrative in this political duel. It decided to buy Unga for Kenyans, or at least help them by buying Unga, and millers who had already allowed to import duty-free and mill Unga out of being charged the VAT for such inputs as transport, power, and packaging made a kill. Farmers and consumers were the biggest losers. The government said it had temporarily lifted import duty, which it will maintain to protect farmers. It took this painful but necessary decision to alleviate the suffering of consumers who also happen to be farmers. This was a perfect environment for the unscrupulous traders to flood the Kenyan market with cheap maize. Clearly, it is not this maize that was used to manufacture the subsidized maize flour. The flour was manufactured in March, which some people have said is an indication that millers have been hoarding this commodity. Even if the subsidy program, which the government expects to run for the next 3 months, only the next harvest runs smoothly, it does not mean that we're out of the woods yet. Experts have already predicted that the harvest for this year will be reduced due to delayed rainfall and outbreak of the fall and army worm in 9 Western Rift Valleys counties, as well as in parts of the coastal marginal agricultural areas. As far as expensive ugali goes, it seems as if Kenya is not yet out of the woods. Well, that's it for us here on Budding Entrepreneur News. Up next is Sheba's Business Minute. Welcome, you're watching Sheba's Business Minute, and I'm gonna highlight for you a few narratives on how to keep customers coming back. I feel like that's very important, so let's get started. Well, customers are beginning to understand that their true value to companies goes well beyond their wallet. This is the age of the empowered customer, when a single complaint on social media can cost a business millions of dollars. An online review can shape the future of a restaurant, and feedback can significantly affect business decisions. The dynamics of the relationship have shifted, so customers have more power in their relationships with companies. As a result, the attention, data, and opinions that customers are willing to provide companies have taken on significant values. Customers are starting to realize their non-monetary value. In return, they expect more than a receipt and a thank you. In 2015, creating quality products and diverting exceptional services will be the table stakes. They will no longer be enough for the differentiate a single company from the competition. Instead, companies will need to consider true value of their customers' relation to provide meaningful value in return. Here are 4 strategies for businesses to ensure customers keep coming back. Although several companies have launched the following 4 strategies over the last several years, there's still a monetary or minor few of them that are doing all 4. And one of them is to get personal. Companies need to see their customers as well as people, not as data. They must find a way to be personal with their customers and connect with them on a human level. By continuously reaching out customers for feedback and insight, a company can offer a personal and tailored experience. If you have a company that sells shoes, for instance, you can some of them, your clients, to come in and try some of your shoes and collect feedback from them on how the shoes feel. This relationship will always keep your clients feeling like they are a valuable part of your growth, which will keep them close in your business. Number 2 will be customization matters, and an enormous benefit of companies getting to know their customers as individuals is being able to provide them with personalized experience. Bespoke service is in. People want products that seem original and cater to their individual wants and needs. That's why Converse and Nike provide customers with the ability to build their own shoes, including deciding the colors and patterns. Car manufacturers such as BMW let their buyers craft their own driving machines, and Toshiba helps customers determine the type of laptop users that they are, and then they can be able to customize their own laptop. Number 3 will be building the influence. Now, customers desire being rewarded for their loyalty, whether through exclusive offers or gaining access to the VIP area. Behind the digital velvet rope, frequent viewers receive elite status and an eye-catching logo next to their user name. And the fourth one will be deliver entertainment. No matter the industry, the entertainment factor is critical to building the brand that can successfully attract new customers, retain existing ones, and deliver lasting products. Now, multi-dimensional experience. Now, Red Bull, for example, has been able to expand its brand beyond the energy category drink and into the arts and entertainment arena with its Canvas Cooler project, whereby artists design coolers and showcase them at events nationwide. Well, that's been it for Sheba's Business Minute. I hope you've had a little bit of highlight on what to have the customers coming back, what little things that you can do in your business to attract customers coming back to your business. Now, up next is Top 40 Under 40 here on Budding Entrepreneur. Continue to join us.